I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. Come on in, everybody. Welcome, 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 child. Let me take this down real fast to get myself up here. Okay, welcome. Come on in. Child, listen, I'm losing weight, and when I look at my face, it doesn't look the way it did before, and so it freaks me out. That's how I know that, like, putting shit in your face, like fillers and stuff, it would freak me out because I have whatever you call it when things happen and you don't see yourself the same way. It kind of plays with your head a little bit. But yeah, I got that. I know I have it. But come on in. Welcome. Come on in. We got shit to talk about. We got things to talk about, y'all. If you can hear the sound of my voice, put your city, your state, your country, your island, your territory, wherever you're from, into the chat so I can give you a shout out real fast. I see New Orleans already is in the house. What's up, New Orleans? Come on in. Philadelphia, I see you. Pisces Life, thank you for coming over. Let's see who else we got in the house. Maryland, what's up, Maryland? Love Maryland. Florida State, what's up? So is that an excuse to tie her money up and place her conservatorship? Child, I don't know. We're going to talk about it, though. What's up, Cleveland? Well, it's Stockbridge by way of Cleveland. What's up to both? What's up, Cincinnati and Dallas and Alabama? And who else? We got Mississippi, New York, Barbados. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I see it's Cookie, though. She said, listen, girl, ain't nothing wrong. You still good. Thank you, Cookie Child, because let me tell you something. I have been unbigging this back. You feel me? Even though I did get a caramel apple, even though I did get a caramel apple over the weekend, child, it is still Operation Unbig Back, okay? So right now, thumbs up to me, and yet I still got to figure this shit out. Come on in, New York. What's up, Fort Lauderdale? Let's see. This is Michigan, I'm sure. Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Now, I did live in Lansing for a little bit, child. What's up, New York, North Carolina, Los Angeles? I hope you are doing well over there in Los Angeles. I'm reading all kinds of stories in the news, child. It's a lot. But y'all keep coming in. We're going to talk about Wendy Williams. We are also going to talk about, what's up, STL Gloria? We're also going to talk about we're going to call it the original footage, because y'all know when I did my live on Sunday, I hadn't seen it because I was preparing to do the review. Y'all know I like to do my notes and make sure that I'm coming with proper history and stuff like that. But I don't know what happened, but I went to look at my IG and I had like bing, 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 bing. Like people had sent me all these videos and they were telling me that this original footage existed. And I'm like, I didn't get the original footage. I got the recut footage. But I guess it had been, I said it was leaked initially. But when I went to a couple of different social media platforms, they were saying, child, we saw it. We saw it. Okay. It played live. And I was like, it played live? When did this happen? I ended up going to Crystal XO's page, who y'all know reviews a lot of the cast on LAMH, especially the newbie. She had, I think, Ken and Trisha over there. And hey. And anyway, long story short, she said she was given, so I'm assuming the network or someone over there had given her the original, what was going to play or was supposed to play, that had the word groom in it, right? That description, and we was going to hear this word say it. And then when she went live that night to talk about the show, she said, well, they didn't play the version they gave me. There was a recut. And I also saw that on OMG reality TV, I think is what it's called. So anywho, there was a lot of clips that I was sent, but they were all kind of broken up. And I ended up seeing I guess the original clip in its entirety. It was about 8 minutes long, and no one was talking in the background. So you could just hear it and you could see everybody's face, the words coming out of their mouths, their expressions. I told y'all a little while ago, maybe at the beginning of this year, actually, I remember we were talking about Trisha, and there was someone in the comments who was, had some things to say. They felt a way about Trisha. And I remember telling y'all when I was in high school, I had a friend who had a picture of them with their boyfriend released, and they ended up taking their life over the summer. That when we got out of school, you know what I'm saying? They ended up because they were embarrassed and they felt shamed. And you have your mama and whomever the family talks to you. You have to go through grief counseling sometime in school, but they tell you, listen, that's a moment in time. That's some shit that's gonna pass. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you think is the earth shattering, or I can't live through it. You'll live through it. Just don't do anything to yourself. Your only job in life is to keep living. That's it. But with all of that said, we got to be careful with our mouths. We got to be careful with how we handle people on social media and everything else. Okay. Thank you, Judy. Look, I didn't really mean to put that up. I was just kind of clicking through because now it looks like I'm being a little, like I'm being a little, looking for a compliment, but thank you, girl. I appreciate you. What's up, Trinidad and Tobago? But anyway, that was my personal experience. And that is the reason why I don't have those under the clothes, you were this, you were that conversation. I don't do that because of, some things that I experienced when I was a kid. I don't police other people necessarily because, your experience isn't my experience. It's just my friend had already done some things. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, this is how I handle my channel. You feel me? Just so people know, because I know a lot of people like, you a Scott supporter. You don't say this, that, and the other. I don't say it because I live a life where, you know what I'm saying? My heaven is different from everybody else's. When it's time for me to go to the pearly gates, baby, they can, they ain't got to be like, what the hell was you doing on YouTube? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a different type of thing. So that's just me. You know what I'm saying? So don't get up in arms. I just, you got to bridle your tongue. Sometimes people got to bridle their tongue. 366 of you are here and watching, but we are going to talk about it. We can talk about things without being, low down and dirty. You know what I'm saying? You can still get your point across without being low down and dirty. But I'm saying that up front. But it's something that I already shared. So if y'all missed that live I had did when I talked about it, because we were discussing Trish and somebody asked me a question and I said, I don't do it for this reason. I'm applying it here as well. So you're not going to get all that nasty talk out of me. Y'all keep coming in, keep saying hello. What's up, Cookie? If y'all see anybody with a wrench behind their name, they are volunteering their time, child, to hang out with us, the happy folks over here on this channel. So just, respect the mods because they could be any place else. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate everybody who comes over, including all of you in the chat. I do ask that y'all keep it respectful, though, because, this has had people in their fifis. It has had people in their fifis, but I am going to stay true to the commentary that I have given y'all all this time, all through 2024, when I was getting bopped in the head left and right. People was telling me where to go, you ain't the queen, and all that shit. I'm going to stay true to my commentary because nobody has ever given me a thing. Nobody's ever given me a thing, okay? I have not taken any type of Lucci from nobody to say anything, so I can only stay true to me. Got it? Got it. Now, with all that said, let's start with Wendy Williams first, okay? Thanks everybody for coming over. I appreciate the support. Thank you, Miss Tina. I see you, girl. What's up, what's up, what's up? I've been down for a few days because I had a sore throat, but I've been working out, okay? And sometimes I guess when your body goes through changes, you know, sometimes you might feel a little under the weather, but I'm up today, child. I've been outside and everything. Okay. So Wendy Williams, let's start with her. Let me put her picture up just in honor of the queen of radio. Okay. The queen of radio, the one who laid it down, the whole shock jock radio. Just so y'all know, was started by a Black woman by the name of Wendy Williams, okay? Everything that you hear, Rush Limbaugh, who else? Howard Stern, they're here because this lady paved the way. Do you understand that? I think that's important to say, because we don't always give her props because we don't like the things that she has said in her career. But she is a living legend. She is still here, and she started the game. She started the game. Now, with all that being said, hell, she started the game for us. The reason why we have voices right here on this YouTube channel and we're speaking opinions over people is because of Wendy Williams, okay? So I do want to say that. But child, apparently some things has happened. There's been some changes, okay? Miss Wendy Williams, who y'all know is under a conservatorship. We've seen her within, I think, the last 2-3 weeks. She's gone on to Charlemagne the God. She's talked to who else? Don Lemon and maybe that guy from TMZ, whatever his name is. She's talked to a few people, right? And you see her with her hand on the glass, looking out the window, crying, child. Heartbreaking as all get out. Come on in, everybody. I appreciate every single one of y'all because I'm trusting that you've hit that like button, okay, baby? I'm not going to slow things down today, but hit my like button, okay? Let people know that I'm on live for a first time in a couple of days. The last time was Sunday. Today's Wednesday. So it's been long enough. I miss y'all. But anyway, I think his name is not Harvey Weinstein. It's Harvey something from TMZ. It'll come to me. Anyway, I think the last video that I saw, she was looking out of a window. She said she had not been outside in weeks, child, that she's basically locked into a room that just has a toilet and a bed. She had to sell her apartment and all kinds of things. And we've seen her with her son at his graduation, and she seems to be a little more coherent, right? And so she's like, they got me under this thing, and medically I can't, engage with my family or my son, my father. My father's turning 94. I need to be able to, spend his last, little bit of time here on earth. Child, like, I don't want to be locked away in this space. And we have all been watching on the outside, like, why does this happen? It seems to women mostly, because we saw it happen with, who's the singer, Britney Spears. We saw it happen with her. And she was under a conservatorship with her father for a long time. I think she was just released within like the last 2 years. But now we see it happening to Wendy. And then we see other people walking around doing cuckoo cow things like Kanye. Okay. Yes, Harvey Levine. Thank you. I appreciate that, Judy. Child, thank you for keeping me straight. Okay. We see stuff like that and we're like, well, is anybody checking on him? You know what I'm saying? That wife is brand new. She's brand new. How is this happening? Case in point, what's going on in the government right the F now. There's a lot of kooky things happening and ain't nobody racing to the bank to stop anybody's bag. You know what I'm saying? Whew. Now, I said all of that to say, apparently there is a new documentary. This would be the second, I believe, on Wendy Williams that came out on Tubi today. And in that documentary, Wendy Williams said some very damning things over her one and only child. Another one Oh my gosh. I am reading the comments. Lisa Girl is informing us that another plane has fallen from the sky. Um, see what I'm saying? This wasn't happening before the entire aviation ran by the government was, gutted, and all the head people were gutted. And apparently, there was one person in particular they wanted to get rid of because they were investigating SpaceX, and y'all know who SpaceX belongs to if you drive a Tesla. So, is it a coincidence? Probably not. But people should not have to worry about whether or not they're going to come home. You shouldn't have to worry about whether your family going to come home for that kind of craziness. Um, Sorry about that. Anyway, so Miss Wendy Williams is in this documentary, child, and she is telling it all about her one and only son, and basically saying that he has scammed her out of money and went so far as to get someone to imitate her with the bank. Okay. So I am reading this from my phone, child, just so y'all see it. But it says Wendy's fury. The ex-TV host claims that her son's associate, to be exact, impersonated her to mislead the bank. Okay, this is all stuff that is being spoken in the documentary. So right now she is age 60, child, which she still got some living to do. You know what I'm saying? That's not old. But she held back tears as she talked about the alleged betrayal of her only child in a new Tubi documentary that was actually presented by TMZ. So TMZ is the person behind all of this time around. Before it was Lifetime. It goes on to say that Wendy spoke to DMZ's Harvey Levine through a window at a healthcare facility, which we all saw. Y'all should have saw that on social media. As she is unable to leave or to have visitors. She explained that her son had overstepped his boundaries in terms of how he used her. She said that he was inappropriate in using his money without telling her crap about it. Like he's stealing from me. That's an exact quote. Wendy then seemed to imply that Kevin Jr. is the reason why she is actually on a restrictive guardianship. So remember when Wendy had kicked her son out of the courtroom, or the judge kicked him out of the courtroom? I think he asked, do you want your family here? And she said no. And then he ended up telling all of her family to leave. And we're all screaming like, well, what's going on? Why couldn't her family stay? And they probably were giving her details about things because this is what it looks like she's confirming. The military personnel, he was ejected before the crash and were rescued. Okay, well, that's good news. I did see, if not just 2 days ago, that one had went down, I believe, in Phoenix, either Phoenix or Philadelphia. I think it was Phoenix, though. And she goes on to say, all I know that is in terms of what I'm dealing with and what's still going on right now, my money being frozen with Wells Fargo, she said, thank God that no more money stealing from my son and other people will continue. Ugh, how horrible. How horrible. And he just graduated college. And I believe right now his wherever he's staying in Miami has he's just gotten another eviction notice. She also said that when she was with him in Miami back in 2022, when he had taken pictures of her and she looked really healthy, and he said that she was eating all vegan diet and all that stuff, she said that she accused him of keeping her kind of hostage. She said that she didn't know where her phones were or anything like that. She wasn't able to watch TV. She said, what is going on with my son and where is my phone? I have no idea where my things are. She said, where's my phone, Kevin? I don't know anybody in Miami. I don't know anybody in Florida except for my family. So my son is overspending. And I'm like, okay, just tell me what's going on. So this is all the stuff she's saying in the actual documentary. She says, speaking of undue influence, my son is really a good person. You know what I mean? I'm not going to cry about this ish. I'm sorry for cursing, but my son is a good person. But at this point, he is a horrible person to me. So maybe she's just saying that she can't trust him at this point, but she feels like both him and his father might be cut from the same cloth. She said that he moves with other people, and whatever's going on with these other people at my apartment in Miami, I don't know what they're doing. And she just basically said for his 21st birthday, he went on to spend $113,000 on a yacht party. He also spent over $100,000 on his mother's American Express. But she said that there is a woman that has a lot of influence over him, and that he introduced the lady to her. She thinks that she is in her age group. So she said that the lady's over about 60 years old now, I'm assuming, whenever it was back then. That would have been 2 years ago, so 57, 58. And she said after this lady talked to her, she ended up calling the bank and impersonating her. Ain't that some mess? Look, Judy, yeah, he did say that, right? He said that little Kevin needs to get a job. I remember that. He said, get off your mama's teat and get a job, boy. And we all were like, wait a minute, sir. Aren't you, you're one to talk, right? And turned out that daddy probably knew what he was talking about. But that he probably is a little spoiled, but his mother is going through health problems, and he's not taking those problems seriously. Or at least it sounds like he wasn't. You gotta grow up fast when stuff like that happens. Anyway, she said that her son is not the only one involved in stealing her money. She believes that there is a couple of people involved. And she's actually praising or thanking Wells Fargo for helping her save what she has left. I don't even think she probably knows what she has left. Now, a lot of people don't like her actual guardian, Sabrina Morrissey. She's actually also accused her of stealing from her. So we'll have to see. But if the mama is putting this information out here now, and it turns out that this is true, if they're able to investigate this, it could be a problem. It's probably Big Kevin's woman. You think so? Big Kevin, Little Kevin in on it together, allegedly. Okay. On it together, allegedly. Come on in, everybody. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. She also says in this documentary that there's a very robust plan that is happening right now, taking place right now, to ensure that the things that happened in the past will never happen again. So we shall see. I'm going to watch the documentary and see what happens. We know that she has asked to be tested again to see where she is, because she was diagnosed, I believe, with the same type of condition that Bruce Willis has, frontal temporal dementia diagnosis, which means that you are going to lose the memory, and eventually you're not going to be able to speak, is what they're saying. And we know that alcohol and things like that progresses it faster. So we shall see if she gets any of those things. Right now, the courts have ordered that Wendy stop talking to the press, stop, doing any of these things. They may not have known she made another documentary job, but that's out as of today. So come on in, and we are about to get into this next subject, okay? We're going to talk about Melody and what happened in that original version of the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion, part 2. Most of you, like me, Come on in, talk to me in the comments, y'all. Most of you guys, like me, may have seen the recut. That's what I'm going to call it. The recut did not have anything about propositioning or grooming or any of those buzzwords, child. It started with this little flashback scene of Destiny throughout the years being on the show. And then it also, it felt like that was a good, maybe 5 minutes long. It felt very long. And then it opens with Carlos asking Destiny about Martell. You and Martell are very close. And then he says something to the extent of, are you close with Martell even off season when we're not filming? And she said, I'm close with everybody. Okay. And then it jumps into the next subject, which I think happens to be her and Lance, where you're using Lance for a storyline, stuff like that. That's what we get next. But in the original clip, it goes from people say you and Martell are close to you said in the clip, in the season that you could have had Melody and Martell if you wanted to. Now, if you saw both, if you had an opportunity to see the original clip, it's about 8 minutes long, okay? Maybe a little short of 8 minutes, but it's about 8 minutes before they start talking about Lance. And this is important because I told y'all that Nell was angry at Destiny. We was trying to figure out where the hell the energy was coming from. But now that we know that whole thing went on before the Lance conversation, Nell may have been angry at Destiny because of that, because she specifically says, I thought that Destiny was someone else, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. Get them likes up, baby. 813 of you are here. Nell makes a comment. I thought I knew Destiny. I thought I knew Destiny, but now I'm not so sure. I used to want her as a daughter-in-law, but now I'm not so sure. So it seems like maybe in that scene, we thought it was more about Lance, but it could have been that she didn't like how the shit went down. And so she had her whole back turned to Destiny when Destiny was talking about Lance, and she was huffing and I'm fucking puffing. That was, listen, now that I have seen it, but we're going to talk about the other details, okay? Thank you, Cookie. Thank you, everybody, for coming on in. 815 of you are here. Hopefully, we can all get through this, baby, okay? I'm going to be as respectful as I possibly can. I took a lot of notes because y'all know I have watched this show a couple of times, more than once is what that means, from beginning to, the last episode. And child, okay? We listen and we don't judge. That's the challenge on TikTok. Let's start there. We listen and we don't judge, okay? Come in, come on. But I want to start with some of the things that was going down in season 1, right? Destiny makes 3 accusations in this original clip. Shantae said, the hell of that so. We listen and we do judge. Shantae, well, I listen and I don't judge. Okay, we're gonna try to keep things positive. Okay, happy. Destiny made 3 accusations, and the last one was the most damning, where she talks about what went down in a limo. Okay. And I'm going to get to that a little later. But first, I want to say this, because a lot of people were like really shocked. Like, what are we watching? And how did y'all let this happen? And oh my God, rock'em sock'em. We got to take somebody out. Okay. We got our pitchforks and we got our fire. We're about to go burn this whole fucking down. Okay. But listen, these conversations, for real, it's a continuance of what's been playing out since season 1. Come on in. Okay. Now, I don't know how I don't know how some of us got the recut and some of us got the uncut. Don't know. I don't know anything about that. My interpretation of TV, I know that it plays, Central Time 7, Eastern Time 8, Pacific Time might play like at 9, 10 o'clock, right? Or 11 o'clock. But I always thought that once it shot out to the TV screen, it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like we all would get the same thing unless it was playing, unless we were watching something live, and then I know they can delay it. But the fact that this may have played a different version for different people is what's weird to me. I don't know what that would have been about, because Philo is a streaming app. It is not a network. It's a streaming app. It actually holds the other networks like BET, Lifetime, OWN, MTV. It puts together a package and you pay for it and you can watch whatever is being watched, elsewhere, the programs. It doesn't decide which version of what you watch. So that's what's a little, you know what I'm saying? That would be an own problem, not a Philo, or I call it Philo. Some people were saying Philo, but it, however you pronounce it. I know Philo was like, how we get in this? How we get into the chat? You know what I'm saying? There might have been a whole bunch of new subscriptions based on it though. But I don't know. I also watch it through Roku, and your Roku will update. So maybe there were certain updates that, if mine update more regularly than others. But Philo is a streaming app. It's not a network. So the network is the one responsible for airing two different versions. Got that? That's what I'll say first. I will also say that I've heard from different people that the network is also the governing body that decides what gets aired. So you just can't turn in a project and they didn't watch it and say, you get a green light for you. I didn't see it. So if you turned in something and it was, like dogs being, something happening to animals, they wouldn't just play that. They would have to see it. They would have to approve it. They would have to push it to a bunch of people. So that's what I was told. Anyway. And I've heard that, I've heard even like Andy Cohen say, once it goes, there's nothing we can do. Once it gets to X, Y, and Z, there's nothing we can do. If it's on film, you can't ask for it to be removed, is what I've heard Andy Cohen say. Let me take this jacket off. I'm hot. Okay. So anyway, we got that out of the way. Okay, so I told y'all that I said 2 or 3 accusations was made in this original clip for part 2 reunion. The original clip is how I'm going to refer to it. And y'all probably, if you watched it, great. If you didn't, you can find it anywhere, but watch the full 8 minutes. The first accusation is Destiny says she believed. Well, let me start with this before I even get there, child. The question that is asked of Destiny after he, welcomes her back and everything is that some bloggers had the original episode before it aired. Crystal XO had the original. She actually said it in her review that she had the original version. So in the original version is how I'm going to refer to it. He says to her, some people, he asked her about her relationship with Martell. People say you're really close. She just kind of stares at him. She, because Destiny wasn't really nice to Carlos, but she gives him a look like, yeah, okay. And he goes, are you nice to him, when we're not filming? I keep up with everybody when we're not filming. I'm cool with everybody when we're not filming. So she's she's feeling some stuff. Who's on my team? The boss, Diana Ross. Then he said, Destiny, in the season, you were in your confessional and you made a comment about you could have had Melody and Martell if you wanted to. And she said, yeah. And he went, do you believe they propositioned you? And what did she say? She said, no, I don't believe that Melody propositioned me. First thing she said, first thing, no, I don't believe it. Thank you, daughter of Christ. She said, no, I don't believe it. So that's first thing. I want to just say that. But what she says is that she believed Melody and Martell would overshare how they got down. So she said that. That's the first accusation. The second accusation, now when she said that, they would overshare how they got down. And the second thing she said was she accused them of getting down in a room that had another party in it. She said they were in one bed, and that someone else was in that room with them, and they woke up and said, I know y'all not. That was the second accusation. And then the third accusation was that Melody performed a favor for Martell, the who is it, Beyonce song, driver roll up the petition, please. Okay. She said that happened. I was like, please, that happened. And that the Scotts 1 and 2 were in the car. Now, she said, because of those things, she believed that Melody groomed. And that was when she used the term groomed. As soon as she said it, Melody and Martell said no. Melody said, Destiny, whatever she said with the first one, that Melody and Martell would overshare. Both of them said no. Melody said no. And actually she was like, Carlos, have her elaborate. And he went, okay, Melody would like for you to elaborate. And that's when she started telling her stories. Well, she said that she would be open to a throuple if Martell wasn't cheating with beep. They bleeped out the name Ariane, we can assume. And Melly said, nope. And Martell, I believe, says, I don't remember that. And Destiny tries to get the Fletchers to back her. And they didn't. Well, hold on. Before I even get there, because she made two things, what she said. The second time, so both Melody and Martell, let's put it this way. Both Melody and Martell said, no. Okay. When she makes the other comment about them getting down in a room and someone else was in another bed, Melody said, no, that, the devil's a lie. The truth ain't in you. Something to that extent. I don't remember it. I'm taken aback. What you accusing me of this? And Martell says, I don't remember, but I trust Destiny. So he's trying to have, I guess, plausible deniability or some shit. I don't know. He knows that this is dirty because this is coming from him, right? She said, a lie from the pits of hell. Thank you. So look, people in the comments is keeping the commentary true. She said, it's a lie from the pit of hell. Because whatever name she says, Carlos King winces. Okay. He shuts his eyes tight and he turns his head like this. Like if you're watching him, he goes, oh my God, like that. And I was like, what? What? Like I was holding myself, and he stayed in that frozen position for a few seconds. And then, he comes out of it. Wow, the difference in recollection is crazy. Are you talking to me, Erica? Because I'll play the video for you. Because I don't want you to come into my chat and call me a liar today, baby, because I waited a good couple of days to come through. So I'm having the conversation out loud, but I don't mind playing it. Okay, so again, the clip I saw of this original is about 8 minutes, and this is what plays out. Okay, and it's everywhere. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Okay. The third thing she says on this, when I was saying the second one, Melody vehemently disagrees. Martell is playing footsie. Oh, I don't remember, but whatever Destiny said, right? And you can tell that it's a bullshit play, period. The third thing that Destiny accuses Melody of about the limo ride and the Scotts 1 and 2 being in the car, Melody does not disagree. Martell does not disagree because it's both of them. Even though we are giving Melody all the smoke, it was Melody and Martell who were a married couple. Now, okay. Now, what I'm saying here is, when I said this story has been playing out, and she said it was the 10th anniversary, and we all remember the 10th anniversary scene, first season, 4th episode. If y'all want to see the clip, I will direct you to it. I know OMF Reality TV is playing it, and it's all over TikTok. And what did Kimmy say? So I'm going to get to it, Ronia, because the reason why I'm starting with what those three things are is because I want to point out to you how this, for me, it doesn't have to be for anybody else, just for me, because I've watched this show so many times. And if you are a longtime follower of mine, you've heard me say this show has a lot of secrets. There's a lot of secrets that people are holding and carrying and holding over people's effing heads. And there's all this shit that gets pulled out onto all this stuff that goes pouring out onto the internet, and it can be a little overwhelming at times. And you got to know who you want to be when you speak on it. Okay. And so I've really, for me, pulled back because I did not want to be a part of some of the crazy nonsense. But first season, 4th episode, we are on the 10th anniversary and the limo ride. And we remember Melody and Tisha and Kimmy. I think Kimmy, or the Scotts 1 and 2, actually set this anniversary dinner up. And I'll tell you my thoughts as I go. I think they're the ones who set up the anniversary dinner, and they go pick Melody and Martell up, and they all looked amazing. In fact, that little picture of all of them in their long gowns that opened season 1, that was from that day. Like, I think that was from that day, but they looked amazing. They go, and we were all cracking up because of all the tension that Marceau and Tisha was giving at the dinner table. Tisha was asking some real deep, involved questions. How did you get over Martell cheating in your relationship and all that, right? And Marceau is over there rolling his eyes. Tisha talked about she felt like a single mama. Even though she married, she felt like a single mama. We was all into that because that was just, that was gold. You know what I'm saying? That's how friends talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? When we, in our beginning stages of marriage and trying to figure things out, I think they were on their 10th year, but still, you can still bump heads and try to figure things out. But it was still a good scene, good show. We got dropped off after dinner. We didn't see anything else yet. Part 2 was another day for us. But everything after that episode, if what they're saying is true. Martell was literally one of the most abusive MFs on TV still to this day. And I say this, I told y'all this in another video, maybe just 2 or 3 videos ago, where I said Martell, it felt like Martell was trying to activate Melody's murder gene when he kept saying the whole, you don't take care of me. You don't satisfy me. I kept saying, who does that? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? But think about it this way. If that was something that did happen and he brings that up in a scene, you know what I'm saying? You're filming, he says something out of pocket like that, and it's done to shut you down, to get his way, to shut you up and shut you down. Do you know what I'm saying? Because remember when she was at Nell Fletcher's house and she threw that glass at his head and went whizzing by, and she was like, stop saying that to me. You know what I'm saying? And we were all at home like, bravo. Okay, finally, take that mother effer's head off. But think about all of that, because it didn't happen once or twice. That was Martell's go-to line. He said it a lot. I didn't say that the limo ride, the incident was in the show. I never said that. I said that we got dropped off at the dinner scene. Okay. Now, before y'all start, listen, I need positivity over here. Use both of your ears. Turn it up. Turn your volume up if you have to. But don't be going off in the chat because y'all want to play silly. You know we didn't see that shit. They did not play it. Okay. And it's all alleged. I'm just saying, because I know how people are, child. They'll start a riot over a lie. But my point of it was that he would say it to get Melody upset. You know what I'm saying? He would say it to get her upset. So, and he said it multiple times until she started taking control of it. Y'all remember he came over her house unannounced, talking about, I'm gonna see the kids when I want to see the kids, not when the courts tell me. And she was like, Martell, get the fuck out of here. If you wanted to be married, you would have done what you needed to do to be married, and we could have still been a family. And he was like, well, you weren't taking care of me. And then she flips out on him again. And I think she swung on him that time, because she said, you know, I ain't no sucker. And she started saying, get off my property, my boy. She kept doing all that shit. And they came and they were like, Melody, they had to bear hug her and move her off. You feel me? This mofo was using something to come after her over and over and over again on the show, for everybody who's saying Martell's a nice guy. But those are scenes that I'm just picking, that I remember. You know what I'm saying? From memory. Now, what else happened? I believe it was 3rd season reunion. Y'all saw that. You remember that. Fast forward, because there's other things I'm sure that I didn't pick up. Those are just the ones that I was thinking of right away when I was writing things down. But so then we get 3rd season reunion. And I believe that this is the reunion that I said in the actual review, Melody needs new friends. I remember saying that because I felt like 3rd season felt like a sabotage of sorts. Okay. She's on stage. I think they didn't have a 2nd season reunion because of the pandemic. And so when they come on, they kind of make that season about Melody and Martell, even though they had already divorced and all of that. And correct, he's using a moment to come after Melody, right? He's using that moment to come after Melody is what I'm saying. This is just my perspective, my review. You see it at the scroll. This is DYANAROZAY's channel, nobody else's. I don't have to talk like anyone else. But this is my opinion. Third season, they're sitting on that stage, and this is the breakup of Destiny and Melody. We find this, this moment. Destiny and Melody had kind of been, it was a tug of war all season. Destiny was mad at Melody because at least that's how it presented, that she may have been mad at Melody because of Tiffany, but it just didn't make sense. And I said, this is the strangest relationship I've ever seen. In fact, I started my review off on Sunday, this past Sunday, where I said, I know a Taurus. My sister is a Taurus child. Okay. When you are dead to her, you think she's Italian. You're dead to her. She doesn't talk to you anymore. It's done. I know Scorpio energy, child. They look for their revenge, but they getting it. And I was like, I don't understand why the push and pull is so much, because it has been for the show. I don't even think I saw that with Melody and Tisha the way we saw it with Melody and Destiny. You know what I'm saying? Now there has been some conversations that has been had outside of this. Like, I know people really do like Destiny's ex-husband, but there are some conversations that said Melody saw or knew what was going on between her and the ex, okay, allegedly, and that Destiny felt like Melody took her credibility away. And because of that, because people are, constantly rah, rah, rah for the ex and saying that she's a liar and what are these other things, she personally blames Melody for that, saying Melody did know. She saw it. Martell saw it. If y'all remember on the stage when she makes the announcement, I'm divorcing, he asked for a paternity test and all that stuff. And Carlos says, well, what happened, Destiny? And she's like, And then he asked everybody on the set. He said, do you know Martell? And he go, no, I don't know. And they all just slowly shake their head, not one of them saying a word, not one. And even with that, I said, they all know. And to this day, none of them have spoken out loud her situation. Not today, not even today. And even Melody, I know Melody said, I don't know why Destiny lies. She lies. If y'all remember when she was on her live last week, Wednesday, she said, with all the things Destiny was going through, she didn't say, with all the things that lying bitch was going through, I should have fucking known something then. She didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? She said, with all the things she was going through, and she allowed her that space. So I'm just going to put it out there because I pay attention to what people say. When you are a liar, you're going to start something off with, we know Destiny's a liar. But what she said was, I'm going to wait for that conversation to happen about the grooming, and then I'll follow up on the Destiny stuff. But she didn't say that. Okay. So I'm just saying, Destiny might have a gag order, but that doesn't stop me from saying, bloop, 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 bloop. You know what I'm saying? You're going to say what you're going to say. You're going to get it out there, whatever those feelings are. So this is what people are alleging, okay? Because there's no confirmation about it. They're alleging that Melody may have been privy or saw something, and that because of that, Destiny feels away, that Melody took that credibility from her. That is the alleged story, okay? And that would be her looking for her get back. If there's a get back to get, that would be the reason they're saying could be possible. Okay. And we all know Melody, child, and she don't tell y'all. I mean, I shouldn't say what she tell y'all, because that's not fair. We watch those stories and we know she will post vengeance is mine in a fucking minute. So she knows, child, don't play with me. Okay. For every demon, 5 blessings, all that stuff. She believes in people laying down, you know what I'm saying? And getting what they are supposed to get. We're not going to pretend like she doesn't believe in a little revenge, because she does. Okay. Now how they get it is another thing, but she does put it out there that she's okay with someone falling to their knees, child. Okay. Now, and make sure I have all that right. But in this season, in this reunion, they have that conversation where Martell, again, to do what? To shut Melody up and to shut her down, says, "You wasn't satisfying me. You told me you did X, Y, and Z to another person." And she said, "I didn't tell you that, Martell. I don't remember that. I got it on tape." And Melody says, "Okay, if you got it on tape, I remember telling you they did it to me, but I don't remember doing it to them. But if you got it on tape, Carlos, Melody, how do you not remember, did but right?" And she's like, I don't remember it. But do y'all remember who was staring at Melody like she turned into a ghost right before his very eyes? He couldn't take his eyes off of her. It was Marceau. Marceau was staring at Melody. I mean, he was just like, the entire time she was talking, he would not take his eyes off of her, off of one word she was saying. I think Kimmy may have rolled her eyes like, oh my God. But Marcel, after Martell says that, when Melody says, her thing, I remember doing it. I remember them doing it to me, but I don't remember nothing else. And you and I weren't together. Martell points at someone on production and goes, "Make sure you leave that in. Make sure you leave that in. Okay, make sure you leave that in." Taunting. Y'all are in them comments tough about Destiny's story. Listen, I'm telling y'all a background that I heard, but it's all alleged, okay? It's all alleged. I don't know. I did not talk to Destiny. She didn't tell me anything, and I haven't seen her. I've seen her on interviews say it in a roundabout way. So let me take that back. I have heard her say, Melody knew everything I was going through. She was the only person I was talking to about it. I did hear her say stuff like that. So that's not true. Okay. But Melody does all that. And then when Destiny comes back, thank you, C. Evans, for blessing the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you. That was the first part of the scene. Melody goes off stage. She starts crying. I hate Huntsville. I want to move the fuck out of here. Everybody remember how, that moment on stage broke her. That whole, why are we talking about this shit? Why are we talking about her? All of that stuff. All I'm doing is telling y'all my point of view and my story. You don't actually have to agree with it, but it might be a point you do. I'm just telling you. When Melody comes back out on stage, there's a moment between her and Tisha. And I don't remember. I think Tisha might have said Melody's nobody's friend or some shit like that. I don't know. But I do remember Melody stood up out her seat and stood up over Tisha. She stood up over Tisha and said, "What's your fucking problem, Tisha?" She was moving her head like she was moving her head like this, like the way people do when they're about to fight. "What's your problem? You and I didn't have no problems during the season. I let you over my house and everything. What's going on?" Like Melody turned the fuck up. Okay. Then she sits back down. Destiny comes out. Tisha and Destiny are elbow to elbow. Destiny has this weird look on her face. She says that she hasn't heard from Melody in a long time, and that Melody's the type of girl that, sends a text every day and sends her music that she's listening to. And it's, and now she just went ghost and she doesn't know what this is about. Melody said, "Listen, y'all know me. When I'm done with filming, I break. I don't, I have to take a time out because filming takes too much out of me." Is this also where the dark soul conversation happens? Okay. And then Tisha sucks her teeth and goes, "Yeah, right, Mel." I think that's what made Melody stand up. Anyway, then Tisha backs off and she goes, "You know what? You know what? I'm gonna let you have it. This could be just you and Destiny, because our friendship was over before we started filming. We weren't really friends. Our friendship was over before we started filming. So that's when we knew about the breaks in the relationship. Tisha brought that in, that they weren't even friends when they were filming, that they came together and all the things, right? But we were kind of piecing these things together really, really differently. You know, because like I told y'all, every time something happens on this reunion, like it feels like something huge and new is released. And then I'm like putting these pieces back together, like, oh, let me put this back together. But anyway, after that moment on the screen, I think it was a done deal. They were over. They were over. Melody the next season said, fuck Tisha. Destiny, they ain't allowed to my house for nothing. I don't want them at any of my events. Don't play me. Remember, she was going on live and saying to production, don't have such and such show up at my thing. I'm warning you. Like, she was doing that. And we were like, what happened? At least I was the only one asking what happened. Because I was like, this is the most unusual break that I've ever seen. Everybody was fine. They were going to Taco Tuesday. What the happened that would create this kind of animosity where nobody wants to talk to each other? Because they stopped talking, period. The families on the outside are warring. The Scott's brothers are coming after Melody. The Tisha's mom is coming after. I'm like, I don't get it. This was the most confusing season I had ever seen, especially since it wasn't bad on screen necessarily. The worst thing was Destiny and Melody's friendship. Tisha and Melody were actually cool. Tisha had brought over her chocolate in a bottle, and they were good. They were good. They had that taco party. Like, it was a good season. Destiny and Melody's friendship broke up, and then everything went to hell. Okay. We also find out that Tisha and Destiny were talking about Melody in a hotel room. I think we may have found that out either shortly after, or I don't know, maybe even on the stage, because now everything is blending together. But those two were talking about each other. And when I think Carlos was like, well, what did you hear? Melody didn't say. And when he asked Destiny, Destiny didn't say. Melody said, okay, so we'll leave it there. Okay. Now we are back to the next season. I believe this is season 4. Strong lines are drawn in the sand. Family is feuding like a mother. Okay. Miss Van is getting a tag. Melody getting a tag. The fans is going wild. In fact, I would dare to say, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, that is when the millimeters may have been born, and they turned all the way the fuck up. I think that's when it happened. Okay. Because I remember saying, I was reviewing the show before the millimeters even became the millimeters. Why am I getting slammed? I remember when y'all got named. I don't know how I got attacked. But I feel like it happened then. Like, people was like, we need a name. We're going to do. Like, people were on it. Okay. Anyway, when the season starts back, Melody's not friends with anybody. She's like, screw y'all. Screw everybody. I'm not fucking with y'all. I think that is when Kiki may have been invited on as well. She has that pajama jam party. She talks to Kimmy. Well, let's start with the Kimmy conversation, because this is when she brings up the secret again. Her and Kimmy goes to a wine bar. They get served like a charcuterie tray, and Melody says, I think maybe the linebacker conversation had came up. The interview with Ariane came out, and that's when the picture ends up showing up on the boys trip picture shows up on social media, and Maurice got hit, because up until then, Maurice was the good brother, but Maurice gets hit in this picture. And Melody point blank asked Kimmy, do you trust Maurice? Because you know who Martell is. So do you trust Maurice around Martell? Because at the end of the day, they're making that. I mean, Atlanta was 2 years ago. You said that the two of you don't do this. Y'all don't have these moments. And that's when Kimmy said, listen, If he did something before we were married, ain't shit I can do. I can only worry about what is happening now. Okay. I can only worry about what we're doing now in the marriage, which is completely different from what she said on the reunion stage. Because she did say when she was talking to Mel at that wine bar, I trust Maurice. This is a promises that he and I made to each other. You know, we're on the same page. At the reunion, first episode of the season 9 reunion, Kimmy says, "Listen, if you told me the shit happened now, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. Yeah, it could happen." That's the first time we hear her change her tune. But when she was sitting there, Melody brings it up, and then Melody asked her to come to her skin relaunch party and to her pajama jam party. And Kimmy's like, "So Tisha and Destiny really aren't invited?" Nope, they're not invited. Well, what happened? Well, they were talking about me. I overheard them in my hotel room. My room was right next to theirs, and I could hear them through the wall. I actually came out of my hotel, knocked on the door, and said, Destiny comes to the door, and she said, "I could hear everything you said." And Destiny's like, "Oh my God." And remember, Destiny said, "I feel bad," because we were talking about her. And then I think they only said it was just about what happened. It's just a show. We weren't talking about, what Martell had said on the stage. That's how they said it. But what if it was the big secret that Destiny revealed on the stage now? You know what I'm saying? Because they're making it seem like it just happened, but I'm not sure. Because if that's the case, there's still a secret that hasn't been revealed. Okay? But at the end of the day, Melody says that to Kimmy. They were talking about me, and Kimmy said, "Well, what did they say?" And Melody said something about me being a Scorpio, and you know how Scorpios are. And Kimmy makes her eyes like, damn. And she starts looking down and sipping her drink. And I'm like, well, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? But anyway, okay, y'all there. The point is, we knew there was a secret, this big secret. Moving to another point, Stormy Steele interviews on DJ Richie Sky's channel, and he asked about the secret. He said, "Listen, this shit is crazy. Like every time I watch this show, it feels like that you're just like, what is going on? There's always like another story in the story." And Stormy was smiling and nodding, and she said, "Is there a secret?" She said, "Yeah." He went, "Can you tell?" She said, "No." He said, "Is it bad?" She said, "Yes, it's very bad." That's it. That's all she would say. That's all she would say. Come on in. Thank you. So again, we've been chasing this secret for a minute. Okay. That was season 4, right? And we know that there's this family blowout. Season 5, I believe that Melody, or maybe the second half of season 4, Melody and Martell joined forces again, because she wasn't filming with Martell either. Martell, Destiny, Tisha, they were all given the boot. Really, she didn't film with Marceau, Maurice, only Kimmy. Kimmy was her only person. Kimmy was her person that she would film with when no one else, when she, had issues with everybody else, which is why Kimmy and Melody falling out on stage in part 1 of that reunion it was a hard thing to watch if you watch the show, because you know that was always her person. You know what I'm saying? They always had a mutual respect. Just like I think they said on the platform, there was a mutual respect there. But we get to Destin, and this is when Melody takes her power back. Okay. Number 1, she played him like a fiddle. Destin was the family trip. She said she wanted her youngest daughter to have the experience of all of them on vacation again, the way they used to, because that was really good for the kids. So Martell came, the mamas came, and the 4 babies came. Their 4 babies came. And you could tell that those kids was happy as all get out to have both of their parents like they used to have them. They're jumping all over their dad. There's a moment where Melody orders Martell a pizza, And she said, "Do you like your pizza still with, peppers and sausage or blah, blah, blah?" And he said, "Yeah." And she said, "I thought so. I remembered." And Martell gets so giddy that he looked like a little girl. Like he looked like a little girl whose crush had just told them that they were cute. Like he was just shoulders to his ears, giggling and rocking and falling out. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this before. But Melody got him exactly the way she wanted him. And she let us all know that Martell was still sending her like the memories from his iPhone, any type of family memories and shit like that. She was sending them and and she, at the end of it, she was like, "Martell, this is where you and your mama sleeping. I'm sleeping down here. Don't try no funny shit, Martell. My door is locked. Get out." Right? She made sure she did all the things. And then there's a moment we clearly don't see. We clearly don't see because you could tell when they were at the end of that trip, Melody is sitting on the porch with Martell, and she said, "Maybe we can do this again when you get somebody and I'm with somebody, because that's the only time you and I will ever be together. Okay? You got to be in a relationship with somebody that you love." Okay? So she basically told him that, and he never looked at her. His face was just a stone. And then it ends with them getting into an argument about Ariane, I think, and Martell telling Ariane her medical information. So that season was a bust. But when they get on stage, Destiny threatens Melody again with telling a secret. They're on stage. Melody's talking about how her phone was bugged. Maybe her house was bugged with some sort of listening device. She's blaming it on Martell. She's also insinuating that Destiny might have participated in it. She doesn't say her name, but I think she might have, insinuated it in interviews, because she said, "Conversations I was having," I'm not going to imitate her voice. "Conversations I was having were being repeated verbatim by Martell. Things that I would tell somebody would be repeated verbatim." And so people was like, "It's Destiny, it's Destiny." Anyway, they're on stage and Destiny, I don't know what said. I think maybe Melody also implies, I don't know, Destiny was calling Martell at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, whatever. And Destiny looks at her. You could tell she is fuming, and she starts doing her little remarks, and she goes, "Don't make me tell you the truths I hold about you." And when she does that, Melody kind of freezes like, "You bitch." And everybody started saying, "Destiny, you ain't nobody's friend. She don't know nothing about girl code." And she's sitting there with this smirk on her face. Destiny had, I'm telling you, if Destiny could have grew horns, baby, she could have grew horns, because she had a devil. I mean, the devil was in her eye. She was shaking her knee like, "Don't make me. I'll do it." And Maurice, "Destiny, don't do that, Destiny. Destiny, don't do that. Destiny, don't do that." I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Hold on, y'all. I gotta get some water. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so she made the comment like that. Someone said that she also said conversations about her brother. I remember her saying in a interview that it was also conversations with someone. She didn't give a name. She didn't give a name, but people assumed it was Destiny because everybody knew Destiny and Melody were close. But it could have been any friend, because apparently Melody has other friends, child. She's since let that out the bag that she barely talked to Destiny, but she didn't let she didn't take anybody's foot off of Destiny's she didn't take anybody's foot off of Destiny's neck when they thought it, child. But she didn't say, was it? She recently, just last week, Wednesday, said, "Me and Destiny didn't even really talk to each other like that, blah, 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 blah." Who knows? So, you know what I'm saying? Because at this point, she could just be like, F Destiny. I don't even want to, people to think I had a real relationship with her. But on the stage, that's what she says. After Maurice tries to walk Destiny down, Destiny was pissed for the rest of the thing, because then we got Kimmy, who kind of comes at Destiny and said, listen, working with Destiny, I'm not doing it no more. It's like pulling teeth. I'm tired of producers trying to force me to talk, get stuff out of her. That's not what I'm here for. Give me my scenes and let her do her own shit, or she don't do anything at all. Destiny left the season. After that season, she did not come back. I think even Carlos was dogging her, talking about, well, where's your man, Destiny? Why isn't he on the stage? And all that other shit. Like, there was a lot going on, okay? There's a lot going on. Y'all remember? That's how I remember it. Okay, but in that Destin trip, this is when Melody takes her power back with Martell. I went to the reunion before the Destin trip, but we got that reunion part. Let's go back to the Destin trip now. There was a dinner that was had that Martell wanted to have with Melody, and I feel like this was Martell's opportunity to shoot his shot, because like anybody who is still in love with someone, when you start reliving a moment where you're back in that same environment, he's with Mel, the mothers are there, the children are there, everything is happening. Everything is happening. And Martell and Melody and the family goes to dinner. Martell has 2 tables reserved. He makes the mamas and the kids sit at one, and he and Melody sit at another. And Melody immediately rolls her eyes like, motherfucker. And she's like, Martell, what is this? Right? She's pissed. And he's like, I just want to talk to you. Calm down. I just want to talk to you. And he starts telling her, like, you know, I messed up, Melody. It was my fault. You had our whole lives planned out. My life, our life together was planned out. Everything for our kids was planned out. And she was just staring at him. And then what did she say before she got in his ass even further? She said, before we have another conversation, did I suck your beep or no? She says that on camera because Martell was used to saying it to her to stump her. She stumped him. And then he was like looking around for help. And he goes, why would you say that? Don't do that. Why would you say that? And she said, did I or not? And he goes, yes. And she said, thank you. Like, don't fuck with me. And I remember saying, whoa, wow, what's happening? That was a moment. That was a moment. She took her power back in that scene. Like, you're not holding that shit over my head anymore. And in fact, okay, after she did that, she started talking about their bedroom life all the time. But after she said that little part, she said, you're the reason everybody comes after me and my kids and my family. You put a battery in everyone's back. And he said, that's not true. And they got into it. But I think that fight went on a little longer than what we saw on camera. Because the next day when she said, you and I could never do this again until you get somebody that you are really in love with and I get somebody. We're never doing this again. Okay. She was like, when that happens, you and I can do more things with the kids because I know how the kids love it. Okay. But anyway, y'all there, right? She was making him tell the truth. Okay. I feel like she was taking her power back as well because Martell kept saying it over her head to control her. I feel like that personally, just based on what I've seen on this show. And then she started having conversations where she was like, I was with that man for 14 years and he ain't never made me come. She said she never had a big O with Martell. She said he act like he wanted that every day or whatever. She said when I started doing it, he couldn't even handle it for real. When I was trying to save the relationship, he couldn't even handle it for real. I was like, damn, she was dogging the hell out of that man. She was letting him know, okay, I will take your ass and put in a sling. But to me, she was taking her power back. She was taking her power back. Okay. Because at this point, she's like, if this is what you're going to hold over me every time, then I'm going to put it out there. But he looked, I mean, when he started looking around for people like, please, what do I do? Save me. I was like, what is y'all doing? They used to have some moments, baby. Okay. Is that the only thing? And I just told y'all what happened, right? So when we have destiny and really the end part of this, we have all this go down, and I guess all of 2024, there's things happening that I guess we weren't privy to, but we know that this season, the season last year opened with the millimeter storyline. This season opens with, or the 2024 season opens with the millimeter storyline, right? And Tisha, Kimmy, Melly, they meet, they talk a little bit about the millimeters, they talk a little bit about destiny. For whatever reason, Kimmy using the exact phrase, "And ain't like Destiny slept with your man." I thought that was such an odd thing to say. But I was like, is that one of the moments where producers put you up to it? But she says it. And Melody's like, "I don't know what Destiny would do, and I don't put it past her," right? And she does it. And they're like, "But come on, Mel. You know that she didn't." "I said I don't know, and I don't put it past her." When that happens, we're all like, well, why would we bring this back up? But it's back up. It's back up and it's on the show. And then we get that scene where Tisha got to carry that damn bone to Destiny. "Well, just so you know, this is what Mel said." And she tells that in Destin. And then, I mean, not Destin, excuse me, St. Thomas. And then Destiny makes a comment in confessional. And that's how they open up this scene with Destiny on the reunion. That's how they open it. That's how they open it. And so, listen, there's a couple of things that could have went down here. I'm still going to say alleged because, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, if you watch the scene, you know how that conversation was happening, right? Even with Melody, when Destiny says to Nell Fletcher, "I was nervous about staying the night because she used to always ask me to stay the night." And Melody was like, "That's crazy. What do you mean? I would always, so what? You spent the night. What's the big deal?" Destiny has this big ass smile on her face. And when she's like, Nell, didn't you used to make us stay the night?" And Nell's like, "We used to all hang out and talk and have a good time outside. And I used to tell you, get your ass up and go home." I used to tell you to get your ass up and go home. And Melody's was like, "Exactly. Who was the one who always wanted to stay?" And Nell Fletcher looks and goes, "She always wanted to stay. Destiny always wanted to stay." So we know at this point, I mean, there's no way not to know. It was an ambush. It was an ambush. The truth of the matter is how it got there. It is what it is. If this was a secret and everybody made a vow to keep it, they kept it. Tisha's reason for giving Destiny the okay, because at this point she would have, to share it, is that when they had that adult-filled day, whatever the hell it was, that game day where Martell dragged Tisha from the heavens to hell. Tisha said after Martell did that shit, I was like, it's game on. What's the point? Why is all of our business out here and, he gets to, do and say and think whatever. But that's what it felt like to me, because it's a bunch of lies about we suing. Nobody done sued anybody. Martell talking about, "I'm going to sue. You called me gay and I'm going to sue." That was in what, October? When did that happen? Ain't nobody sued anybody over there. Not one person. Some people are saying they believe that they were just talking. I think when someone implies some shit like that, you say, "That's a bitch. I will whoop your ass." I'm gonna tell you, she had the patience of Job. Well, not even Job, because I think that Job would have been like, "It's time." You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna have to rewrite the Bible because I'm about to pop pop, baloo, bop, 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 bam, boop, this bitch, okay? You're going to hit somebody for telling that kind of lie. I mean, it was lie after lie after lie. And Melody was very clear in saying, you are a liar. And when Destiny told the limo part, Melody actually went back to the throuple conversation. What does that have to do with the throuple? You weren't even there. Even with Kimmy saying, well, how do you know? Because there was only 6 people in the limo. Notice no one denied it because it doesn't look good for the Scotts to be in the limo either. Like, why didn't you tell the limo driver to pull the fuck over and get an Uber? What is happening here? All of them, nobody denies this. Say what you want, child, but I would have right this second, there would be a comment out there saying that this is a lie. A whole comment. A whole comment should be made. Not the production team, not OWN, no one from the cast. Martell didn't say it, and Melody and Martell were clear in saying no to certain things. And if you go back and you just look at their facial expressions and what was happening, you can tell. Even Melody saying, Tisha, did you ever feel uncomfortable? And Tisha putting her hands over her face and saying, but I'm gonna say this, when Tisha put her hands over her face, you know what Marceau did? He looks at Tisha, but he's staring at her like, don't you say shit. Listen, a lot of people would. A lot of people would. And it does not matter. At the end of the day, child, these are grown folks. And it looks like if everybody, because I'm going to tell you, this is how I was raised. I saw blinkety bloop, 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 bloop. And then what the fuck did you do when you saw it? Did you stay there? Because it really implicates all of them. But you just have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. But at the end of the day, that's their business. It has come out. We shall see what happens next. I feel like Martell did play a game where he was showing exactly how horrible he has been throughout the season. I don't think anyone cares necessarily, but I do think this, because someone asked the question, why do we care if she wanted to do that to her man? I don't think anyone cares necessarily. I think what happens is that there was a situation where the cast, there was a lot of information put out about the cast, whether it was true or false. They were being dragged to smithereens. And I think that what happened with Martell at that adult field day created a whole new level of get back, because when you are trying to, maybe this is just my opinion, when you are trying to be respectful, keep it cute, keep it clean, and someone starts hitting below the belt and taking it there, and you know that that's not going to get cut out, because Tisha and Marceau shit did not get cut out. I mean, they bleeped some names and stuff, but it didn't get cut out. At the end of the day, I think people are going to be sitting there feeling away, because you look at the faces that everybody was making like, Jesus Christ, what is happening? Why is this going down? It's on the internet. These are people that, I mean, when we say So Gucci, thank God you quit, So Gucci. Thank God you quit, because you know, you don't need all this. Thank God you quit, Akeisha. You don't need all this. And you have these people on this show, for whatever their reasons are that they're on it, they got to pay their damn bills too. And they're being dragged, and whether it's true or false, it's still shit they're going to remember. You have to realize that sometimes you open Pandora's box, a whole lot of shit's going to come out of it. I see someone said that CK didn't address it. You know what? I wouldn't address it either. I told you at the beginning, OWN releases that was a green light by OWN. They're not blindly given the show clip. They got to put that show clip out there with the commercials and everything. So they know it's not Carlos who says, this is where we're going to put the Charmin commercial and where we're going to put the logo. That's the network's job. They're in charge of the final edit. And they might not think anything of it. I don't know. But that's where we are. That is where we are. Okay. Okay. I think I told y'all everything that I know as in my point on it. My point on it is what I said before, which is I hate that it got here, and I really wish that they could have found a way to come to a better, just be better. Just be better. But this is different. You know what I'm saying? We've seen some of this stuff kind of play out with other cast. It just feels a little different with this one because more people feel so personally involved in these people's lives. Everybody feels really involved in these people's lives, and so it can feel that way. And you could tell that in some of those scenes when Melody was on the stage, she was mortified. Like her facial expressions was that she was mortified. And now we have to see what plays out next week. Hopefully it lightens a little bit back up. Listen, but when we are talking about this show and Black excellence and how it used to be great, we have to keep in mind that this has been underlying conversation that's been going through season after season after season. This didn't just happen. If it did just happen, like I said, there's still another big ass secret out there. And at this point, my heart can't take it. Okay. And I understand. And I think Destiny walked back the grooming allegation. I think she walked it back. She 100% said that Melody never asked her. She never touched her. When Carlos asked if was she proper, well, I won't say this. He asked her point blank, were you proposition? And she said no. Melody said, I never touched you. I never talked you out the way. What people have as conversations, I mean, you're grown. You get older, you start having conversations like they do on the Insecure show or what else? Girlfriends, you talk. And it sounds like it was all couples talking. But the way the scene is edited, when Nell Fletcher is giving Destiny stink energy, like you're lying about your age, bitch. You're 9 years older than my son. When she's doing all of that, they had already cut the other scene. And Nell Fletcher really felt like was the only one who had sympathy or empathy in that moment. Even though people don't like her, she was giving Melody some like pleading eyes, and she let Destiny know she didn't like it. But anyway, I've been on here for 1 hour and 33 minutes. And I'm done. I can read some more of y'all comments and see what you got to say. But the word was wrong. She knew it was wrong. It was simply conversations. I said that Kimmy made the comment, how did you know about that when there was only 6 people? So she lets us know there were 6 people in the comment, in the limo. The Scotts, 1 and 2, and the then Holtz. And Tisha said, I told her when Martell came for me at the adult game day, which she was referencing the adult field day that Destiny hosted that all of y'all said, well, what the hell is going on here? Why would Destiny host this event? And when people were looking at Destiny like, are you going to reel this shit in? And she was just like, I don't do this. And Martell had, some nerve telling Tisha's business. That is what they were talking about. That's what they were talking about. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Val. But these people are grown. And like I said at the very beginning, all this is a moment, okay? Nobody needs to, lay down for a moment. Let that shit come and you let it go, okay? And you keep it moving, okay? What my mama would have said was, put your head up and don't drop it down. Don't let me see you drop your head down. You know what I'm saying? You just got to stand in it. Just be good. Yeah, see, the problem with, I think this is Pat Sheeta. I think the problem we have here is that Melody and Tisha went through some bullshit last year with talking under their clothes, right? A fight that was going down between Martell and Marceau got Tisha hit, it got Melody hit, and the women did not deserve it. But we only ever see one. And I think that's probably why the cast or whomever was so open to saying shit. I mean, if this show is going to go off the air, we all might as well get dirty. We all might as well get dirty because everybody who watches this shit is going to think the Scotts, everybody going to think the Fletchers, everybody going to think. And what they did was try to spread the love. There's enough dirt to go around. Everybody gets it. And I forgot about Carson, but think about this too. Think about this. Why would Martell be open to having that play out on TV? Don't he got a jury trial coming up? Why would he be open to that playing on TV? Think about this. Or at least he asked for a jury trial. I don't know if he'll be honored one, but people love to talk about what's going on with women. And unfortunately, women are some of the worst. We talk about other women in a way that can be really nasty. And the truth of the matter is, the reason why I wanted to tell this story from the beginning is because Martell has been pulling the string from the beginning. He's been pulling the string from the beginning. A man. Okay. So you got to look at it from all sides and not one, because sometimes you get really wrapped up. But cross the street, look both ways. Look in front of you. Okay. Sometimes look up and down. Stop looking through things through this kind of lens. You'll never see. Or just come over and ask me. That's why I'm always a good friend to people, because I always give them all the angles, child. We'll work it out. Melody was not at the adult field day. But what did Martell, what did Marceau say when Martell hit Tisha with a "you F my friend"? They ran a choo-choo on you. They did a this, they did a that. And then he says something to Martell about Melody, and it just happens to be about what? A job. Okay? A job. And then Melody goes and sees Tisha and Marceau at their bar. And he said, I'm glad you talked to me, because let me tell you what happened. I said, he's the kind of man who would send a message to me asking me if you asked. They've been talking about blowjobs since the first episode. It's crazy. Yeah, I think that it was already discussed. I think it was discussed. I think when or not Kimmy, when Stormy said on, this is my feelings. Nobody talked to me about shit. I just, y'all follow me. Y'all know this is how I process. I believe that when Stormy talked to DJ Richie Sky and he asked what the secret was, I think this was a secret. I think that Melody at some point was very embarrassed. She probably didn't want to deal with anybody because all of this shit was coming up all the time, all the time, all the time. Now, she handled herself well. I still believe, and I've said this 1,001 times, I'll continue to say it. I think she's a smart woman. I also think that who she is, what makes her her, is her superpower. Just like what makes you you is your superpower, and that people shouldn't fold and bend to other people's will. You gotta stand in what makes you you. Period. You know what I'm saying? You learn, hopefully, if you know, have a little baby girl, you tell them that every single day of their lives when they are growing up, so that shit like this doesn't take them down. But yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. So anyway, I'm happy that y'all came over to listen to me talk for 2 hours, okay? Getting out all the things I had to say. I really appreciate y'all. And hopefully this was not offensive. Hopefully this was, you know, I spoke like a grown up and it wasn't to embarrass anybody or make anyone feel bad. Um, just happens to be the shit that's out there. And like I said, it'll go away like everything does. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. It's okay though. It's okay. Um, that's it, y'all. Anyway, y'all know what to do. Please and thank you. Hit my like button. Also share the video. Follow me on all my platforms at DYANAROZAY. Thank you to my mods. Thank you to everyone who blessed the channel. I love y'all. Thank you to everyone who came by to hang out. I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Bye-bye.